So in this segment, we're going to be talking about the U-turn for Liz Truss just wasn't enough. And I think she's done. Even Tory MPs have privately said she's done, and one of them has actually gone public. And so we'll talk about him in a bit, but I want to have some fun. There'll be a very funny clip at the end of this video, at least in my opinion. It's going to be funny. I don't care what anyone says in the comments. But yeah, a long 24 hours, a long day in time for politics.
And you'll be Chancellor and Liz Truss will be Prime Minister this time next month?
Absolutely, 100%. I'm not going anywhere.
He got sacked. That's awkward. Yeah, so it's not great. You know, firing Kwarteng won't be enough to save Truss. Everyone knows it. Knows it was her budget. She spent time all summer demanding the corporation tax rise was stopped. And, you know, everyone knows it was her that did it. In the end, this was her idea. She picked Kwarteng specifically for these reasons. And she sacrificed him, but it wasn't enough. A Tory source telling Beth Rigby a substantial amount of letters have gone into Sir Graham Brady, who's apparently away in Athens but returns on Monday. Wait till he gets back. He's going to be a very busy boy, that's for sure. You got Nigel Farage here saying today was the best Conservative budget since 1986. And then you've got Nigel Farage saying after 12 years of Tory misrule, we need a realignment in British politics. I don't know why he chose that specific picture. It must be a video he made, but this is hilarious. Look at that. This is what the impact of a true Conservative budget can do. Tory MPs already texting Pippa to say that they think Liz Truss's press conference has actually made things worse. Like, imagine, right, you make a U-turn, you say, all right, look, everyone, I got this wrong, okay? And it still somehow makes things worse because her press conference was awful. She was there, she spoke for about 4 minutes. I think she took questions for about 4 minutes, so it's about 8 minutes in total, and she didn't give the markets or Tory MPs any confidence in her whatsoever. You got Nicholas Watt saying a group of senior Tories have been holding discussions, having decided the following: sacking of Kwasi Kwarteng will prompt them to come out publicly next week and call on Liz Truss to resign. So even though, in my opinion, she made the right decision by sacking Kwarteng, it's still not enough for them. She was in a lose-lose scenario of keep Kwarteng and keep most of the city budget and look stupid, or sack Kwarteng and still seek the wrath of the Tory party, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what she does now, she's toast. She is done. We've got Christopher Chope on Newsnight on Thursday saying that Liz Truss is not going to do a U-turn, and what we're experiencing is the anti-growth coalition in full cry. Well, the anti-growth coalition got rid of Kwasi Kwarteng then, evidently. I mean, this guy's a joke, Christopher Chope. You got Tory MPs telling Robert Peston they are not reassured by the PM's press conference, which lasted less than 9 minutes, including questions. This was a historic economic U-turn, and she left so many vital questions dangling. Pressure will grow on her because she is not... the markets are still very nervous. That's the point. The markets are still very nervous because they have no idea what she's doing. The budget announcement, if it does come out at the end of this month, there's still no guarantee it will, because now we have a new Chancellor, so we don't know if Jeremy Hunt wants more time. This idea that the OBR didn't have the forecast was a joke. I think sacking the senior civil servant as well that they didn't help market fears at all. And I think people realised once Kwarteng lied about the budget, the OBR, people were like, we have no confidence in you, we're going to get out. And then once they decided to start selling pension bonds, that's where the UK ran into real problems because of the way the pension system is built in this country. Something I've explained in a previous video, but it's kind of a house of cards, really. You've got here, government borrowing goes up after the PM's U-turn. So despite the fact that you would assume she's done the right thing here, in doing the U-turn, borrowing has actually gone up because of the uncertainty. The yields have to go up because that's the only way they can encourage people to buy the government bonds, is by putting the interest rate up, the return you get on it. And despite the fact that she's done the right thing here, it's not gone too well. I've got one more thing I want to talk about, one more kind of actually proper news clip, which is you've got former Minister Crispin Blunt becoming the first Tory MP to break cover since Kwarteng was sacked, telling Andrew Neil the PM has to go.
How the succession is managed.
Can Liz Truss survive?
No, I think the game is up, and it's now a question as to how the succession is managed.
But if the game's...
She's done, you know, and if this is the case, we need a general election. You cannot do this. You cannot switch out one PM for another without an election and then switch out that Prime Minister who was unelected, apart from by Tory ministers, for another one. The Tory base have really screwed themselves, because if they went for Rishi Sunak, he would not have done this. They would have been okay up to the next general election, and I would not be surprised if they won not a majority, but won still a decent amount of seats, enough to stay as the largest opposition party. Right now, according to current polling, they're going to have like 4 Tory MPs, which won't happen, let's be honest now, but they could end up outside of triple digits. They could end up with, say 90 odd MPs or something ridiculous like that because of what Liz Truss has done. A historic loss for a party that's been around for centuries.
Up for her. How could that succession be managed? I mean, let me put it bluntly to begin with. How would you get rid of her?
Well, George was speaking to some of the mechanisms earlier. If there is such a weight of opinion in the parliamentary party that we have to have a change, then it will be affected. Exactly how it's done and exactly under what mechanism, but it will happen.
That'll be the 1922 committee that deal with it. They're the ones that are going to have to change the rules effectively, because the PM, the Tory leader, is safe for a year after a leadership contest, which makes sense, given that you don't need too many to trigger a leadership contest. But I think the 1922 committee will either tell Liz Truss either resign or we change the rules. I can see that happening. That's the only thing I can really think of, and it's important to remember some of the Tory party ideals as well, because they're the kinds of people who will sacrifice everything to, take from the poor and give to the rich. They don't really believe in redistribution, and they can say that they do that in order to grow the economy, which isn't true. But I guess the way they would see it is like this:
making the mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't fret over every egg.
Making the mother of all U-turns here, Jack. Can't fret over every policy. It's just funny. It's just funny to me. Do you guys not find it funny? It's hilarious. The Tory base have essentially chosen a lunatic here. And let's not forget, these are the same people who chose David Cameron, the same people who chose Theresa May. Well, to be fair, with Theresa May, they didn't have a choice because Andrea Leadsom dropped out because she made some not great comments regarding motherhood. Let's put it that way. And then they picked Boris Johnson, who won a historic majority, and then they picked Liz Truss when they could have picked Rishi Sunak, who was the much better option in my opinion. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and we're going to end with a quote from Dante from Devil May Cry.
I fail to see the logic here. Senate. The price to pay for power?